Hey, what is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. And in today's video, we're going to be revisiting Serenity Capital and looking at the updates that they've recently done, and more specifically, look at the brand new chain that they are going to be launching on tomorrow. Now, right off the bat, before we dive into the video, I want to remind you all that none of this is financial advice, and you should always do your own research. This is DeFi, so it is extremely risky, and that is why it is extremely important to make sure you look at everything before you decide to invest. Now, I have been a part of Serenity Capital for a while and have been farming away sustainably. As you guys can see on screen, I had a video back on the 5th of June, which is well over a month ago, nearly 2 months ago. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I've been farming it without any stress, and that's because of the model that they have. Now, of course, in this video, I'm not going to be going over the entire protocol. I will leave a link right above, which you guys can click and go watch that video if you want to know the basic elements of Serenity Capital. But I am more importantly going to be talking about is the new update coming to Serenity Capital, namely the fact that they are going multi-chain. They are actually going home, I would say, to the Ethereum blockchain, as they are pegged to Ethereum. And I'm actually really excited about that, not only because Ethereum is extremely cheap on gas fees right now. I've made a couple of transactions today for like 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents. So it's really cheap in comparison to other times. So I think this is a great opportunity for Serenity Capital to, make its stand as a L1 protocol. And secondly, because of the amount of people that are going to get their eyes on Serenity Capital. Now, you guys might be wondering how this protocol only has $90,000 TVL. And I personally ask myself that question all the time. This went down as low as $55,000 or $60,000. But even at that point, Serene, which is their peg token, actually held peg. And that's the brilliant part about it, right? Because of the inverse model that they have, which once again, as I said, go have a look at my video if you haven't. It's very important. They're able to hold peg at all times because there isn't a significant amount of Serene being printed. Now, that's obviously because of the fact that they provide a much more reasonable approach when it comes down to the APRs. You guys can see here, it's actually paying out quite a lot right now. It was down to 0.3% every single day, now giving more than 1% every day, which is very, very lucrative because there is a boost ongoing currently. However, what you guys can see is, even though it's been quite a while that the protocol has been live, there's only 68 peg tokens that are out there. And what that essentially allows you to understand is the fact that they are minting at a very slow pace. And that's how it should be, right? For multiple reasons. The first reason, obviously, the biggest reason in my opinion, is sustainability. And the second reason is obviously one Serene is supposed to be pegged to one Ethereum. Therefore, it's supposed to be worth a lot more. Hence why it's important to make sure you're not emitting too many tokens, since the dollar value is a lot more. Secondly, PBL, so Pebble, their share token, is now worth $588. This went as low as $100. If we actually look on the chart here, you can see that it went down all the way down to 100, or it even went under $100 for a little bit here. Before getting scooped up and now going up almost 5-6x from that point. Now, unfortunately for me, I actually wasn't able to buy the bottom. I got I got more Pebble recently around $220. I have been accumulating from earlier when the price was higher as well. So overall, I'm still in profit, and I honestly think that this is still quite undervalued. Just because of the fact that the share token, as you guys will see in every protocol, is much higher than the peg token. And right now, as you guys can see, with Serene being pegged to Ethereum, is worth 1100, whereas Pebble is only worth 588. So I definitely think that Pebble has some room to grow. Now let's talk about this newest update, namely the multi-chain. Well, now the multi-chain element has been already introduced mainly by Repay. I know before Repay there was Printer Financial that made a multi-chain system as well. However, other than these two protocols, I'm a little bit unaware as to whether there have been other protocols that have gone multi-chain without rugging. such as Uni. But Serenity is now doing it. But unlike Repay, they're actually doing it right. So if you look at Repay, they have a lot of money locked and everything. And unfortunately, most of this money is probably people that are in losses just because of the fact that Pay is now $4 and they're at 0.3 peg. And they haven't been able to hold peg because of the APRs that they offer. So Serenity, obviously, as I mentioned, solves that by giving out a reduced amount of emissions in the boardroom, right? So the jar is the boardroom. And as you guys can see here, the daily is 0.68, which is very, very reasonable in my opinion. You know, anywhere from 0.4 to 0.5% is along the lines of more sustainable for me. And if you can make 150 or, for example, now 250% year end, that's insane amount of gains. That's 2.5xing your money without having to do anything, right? And that's on a sustainable protocol because of the fact that they're paying out less. Because think about it, guys, you're getting paid out 0.68% in the boardroom, and you get Serene. You would then take your Serene and be able to go and LP it right here for the APR, which, as we saw earlier, was 1.18. Whereas in other protocols such as Repay or any tomb fork, you'll always see that the bank, so the boardroom, actually pays out a lot more than the LP. So the question then becomes, okay, well, why would I not just buy shares then, right? Why wouldn't I just buy Pebble, farm Serene, and just dump it because I'm here for the money, right? And that's kind of something that Madrid has talked about. Madrid being the leader. So as you guys can see right here, he is one of the founding members, and in my opinion, one of the most active members that I have seen, not only on his Discord, but in other people's Discords as well, such as my own. Link down in the description. Make sure you guys join them so that you can get updates. And I think that's kind of smart, right? You don't want to be paying out too much in the jar. You want to be giving a good amount. However, you don't want it so the sell pressure on Serene is higher than the buy pressure, right? It's how Madrid described it to be. It's cannibalism, right? You're eating yourself. You're essentially telling people to buy the share token, which is paying out more Serene every single day, the peg token, and then sell it, which is absolutely absurd. And he's right. And the second part I want to talk about in regards to Pebble, look at the circulating supply, guys. There's only been 521 Pebble emitted in its entirety. And this sustainability is obviously reflected on the chart. As you guys can see here, all the way from 24th of May, 25th of May, we've always held above peg. And even if it has come down under peg, it was quickly bought back up. This blue bar right here, guys, you can see is representative of peg. And as such, it shows you that regardless of the APR that is being provided, so 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, it's always paying. And that's something you want to see. You don't want to be in a protocol that is saying, oh, we're going to give you 10%, 50% every single day, but then not be able to deliver that, right? You want to be in something that's more reasonable and more sustainable. And of course, in my opinion, of course, not financial advice, there's a lot of price appreciation to be had. So the APR shown is unrepresentative of the entire amount of gains that you could potentially get, just because of the fact that the TVL right now is 90K. Coming back to my point about multi-chain, Repay did do it, and good on them. But what they did is create a new fork, a new tomb fork on every protocol. And what that essentially did is that increased the total supply. Look here, guys, you can see the main issue right here. The total supply is 690,000 pay tokens, which is a little bit, which might be seen to be a lot more than normal, right? Like even if you look at Tomb Finance, the total supply is 70,000. But you have Repay where, because of the fact that every protocol they created more emissions for pay, what do you think happens to the share token? Well, it goes to shit, right? It goes to $4. This was $1,000, $500. It fluctuated a while between that $10 mark to that $50 mark. And now it's $4 and it's really rough for them. But Serenity Capital, they recognized this mistake that this protocol made. And what they did is they made it so that every chain that they go on, so ETH being the first one now that they are moving to, and followed by Binance Smart Chain and so on and so forth. What they're doing is they're dividing the emissions of Pebble, right? So you already have a total supply that is much lower, like almost 10 times lower. I just saw Tomb has 70K. A lot of these other protocols have 50 to 60K. These guys have almost 8 to 10 times less total supply, but then that's also going to be distributed and divided amongst all these chains. What do you think is going to happen to the price of Pebble? And that is why I say that there is going to be a lot of appreciation on the price of Pebble if it does gain the right eyes, because of the fact that they do have all of these elements in place, and they've learned from other individuals or other protocols making this mistake. And Madrid is an individual who, by the way, guys, he's the team is KYC'd, as you guys can see here, and he's doxxed. He hops on to calls all the time on the Discord. I definitely suggest you go and talk to him. He's super chill. Honestly, I consider him a friend at this time, and he's a local resident in our Discord all the time. So if you guys have any questions, that's why I always say it's important to join. But yeah, with the sustainability, the fact that they're doxxed, the fact that they're implementing the distribution of the shares and going multi-chain properly, I do think they are going to get a lot of eyes on the protocol. And that's why it is very important that you as an individual watching this video exercise your capabilities to do your own research and determine whether or not this is a potentially good investment. The other reason why I think the Pebble price will appreciate shortly, and what I think that the team is doing right, more importantly, is the fact that if you actually look at their Discord, you'll see more recently that they are having 2 AMAs here, one with Hydra Whales. I do have a video on them as well. Extremely brilliant team with that are also doxxed and doing big things in the NFT scene, with over 5,000 members in their community. And these individuals are from the NFT side. They don't have a lot of experience, or they don't know where to put their money in the DeFi space. So partnering together and working together, sharing those platforms will inevitably bring what I mentioned earlier, namely more eyes to the protocol, hence increasing this TVL. And because of the fact that the Pebble liquidity is only 18K, you can bet your ass that the price of Pebble can easily rocket up 3, 4, 5x from here without a doubt. Now, I'm not saying that is going to happen right away, as it does require a certain amount of liquidity to be created. And of course, you have a lot of swing traders along the way. But the way that the protocol is shaping up to be, namely providing less APR in the bank than the actual LP, which is smart, at least for the time being, to aid that sustainability where we have the overall crypto market going to shit. But you have Serene at a good peg price of 1.08. That's very healthy. That is very, very healthy. So I personally do believe in the fact that once they get those eyes on them, from Hydra Whales is going to help. And of course, on top of that, you have Goldmint, which has been quite a reliable project, has been with a really good team behind them. And as you guys can see, they're partnering with Goldmint as well. So that's going to be really useful and really good for individuals that are both in Goldmint and Hydra Whales. And of course, for people that do invest into Pebble and are able to hold their Pebble so this gets higher. Now, I personally have held the majority of my Pebble, and I have accumulated when the price is lower. Am I going to be selling mine now? I'm essentially more than 2x up. Am I going to be selling my Pebbles? Absolutely not. And that's because once again, guys, as I said, I do believe that once the right eyes get locked onto Serenity Capital, you're going to see this number, this TVL balloon like crazy. And of course, the higher the TVL gets, the more it attracts individuals to enter, the more we see Pebble increasing in price and becoming lucrative. Me personally, I like projects that are more geared towards that long-term objective. And as such, I don't mind holding my Pebble through ups and downs, because hey, Serene is still holding its peg. So at the end of the day, my Pebble is still printing, whether it's $500, $1,000, $300, or $200. It's still printing because of the fact that Serene is above peg. And this number right here and this token right here is what matters the most in a Tomb Fork protocol, and these guys are doing it right. This inverse model is doing it right so far, and I'm really interested to see that once this TVL number goes up to that $300, $400, $500,000, how this will hold up. But at least from my general comprehension, I can say that because of the management of the APRs that is currently being done, which is in a very smart way, which is in a way that other protocols don't do it, I do think they are going to be able to hold peg. And that's without obviously considering the fact that they are going on multiple chains, which is once again just another added benefit. So all in all, guys, I know that was a lot of information, and I do think that they are doing good things. Once again, in this market, I think being in protocols that have the sustainable element and are doxxed are very important. And Serenity Capital has both of those, right? They do have the sustainability model in mind. They are KYC'd, as I mentioned earlier. And of course, they do AMAs and everything like that. And Madrid is doxxed. He turns his camera on and everything like that. So there's no issues in that regards. I apologize if my mic quality or video quality is a little bit off today. As you guys would have known if you are in my Discord, I am traveling, so I am using kind of a different setup. So yeah, that being said, make sure you guys go and check out Serenity Capital. I will leave the links down in the description. And if you have any questions, of course, as I always say, hop into the Serenity Capital Discord. I'm sure Madrid or anybody else would be more than happy to answer your questions there. Their Discord is absolutely beautiful. They play games and they chill out all the time. And of course, the Crypto Degen Discord is always open as well. If you guys have any questions, just head on over there. Thank you very much, guys, for watching my video. I hope you guys have an amazing end of the week. And as always, guys, let's get that bag. Peace.